Thank you so much for doing this interview. As we speak, we are heading into a long weekend, and you, my friend, have been traveling around the world. In fact, we were supposed to do this interview yesterday. You weren't even in this country, and you were trying to do the interview with me while you were driving. That's how dedicated you were to do this interview, and I appreciate it, man. How was your trip back to Toronto, and where were you exactly
I
before?
was I was in a place that I'd never been before, Branson, Missouri,
Wow.
which is right in the center of the U.S. It's this amazing town that has a population of 10,000, but gets 10 million visitors every year because it's right in the center of a beautiful lake area in uh, uh, in Missouri, but also because they have all sorts of entertainment. So we were opening our immersive Disney animation exhibit there. Um, and that's why I was there.
Well, look, we're glad you're back in Toronto and speaking with me because coming up as we speak in Toronto, somebody who does artwork like this who is well known, but at the same time, we don't know who this individual is. Can you tell us exactly what exhibit is coming to Toronto?
So this is the return engagement for the art of Banksy. We brought the show in summer of 2018, and it was a huge hit. So we're bringing it back, having toured it all across the U.S. and for 2 years in Japan. We're bringing it back in a much expanded version. So there's almost double the amount of artwork, all sorts of new pieces. It's really grown and become a very exciting project. Toronto was the premiere in North America for the show. So it feels really good to be bringing it home.
So let's go into this mystery because really that's one of the appeals to this because who is this individual and why don't we know who this individual is and how did this individual become worldwide known?
Well, I admit it, I'm him. You've got the scoop. All right. Banksy is a mysterious, anonymous graffiti artist who came out of the scene in the UK and Bristol in the mid 90s, became very famous for his crazy stunts. So, among the stunts that he's known for was he auctioned off one of his pieces, a painting of a girl with a red balloon. It's his most famous image. And just as the gavel kind of hit and the painting was sold for a couple $1 million, he had embedded a shredder in the picture frame and he shredded the image. So that's one of his famous stunts. Other famous stunts that he's done. He reverse shoplifted into stores in order to distribute his own version of Paris Hilton's album, which had his own musical tracks on it and its own case. And we have that in the exhibit. He created special 10-pound notes, but instead of the Queen of England, he had Princess Diana on them, and he distributed those and got them into circulation. And we have some of those, of course, in our exhibit as well. But he's known for his really kind of humorous and political anti-establishment images, and it was a kind of combination of a political message and just the kind of tongue-in-cheek humor in his work that I think has really made him popular and sticky and exciting. And when I first saw his work, and I was on vacation, I saw an exhibit of his work in Amsterdam on vacation with my daughter, who at the time was 10. And what was exciting was that we could spend the rest of the afternoon talking about the political messages and the comedy in his pieces.
Okay, how is he getting away with this? How is he getting away with being a mystery? And we keep using the term he. How do we not know that he's a woman? Like, we don't know any of these things.
We don't know at all. In fact, one of the women working in our exhibit the first time when we came to Toronto kind of coined the phrase Banksy. So maybe it is Banksy. Um, Anyhow, no, we don't know a lot about who he is. He's gotten away with it because he's maintained the mystery, and the people who are around him and who work with him, I guess, keep the mystery as well. We have some images, photos of him applying the art with his face obscured that exists, and we have some of those in the exhibit as well. And he does it in broad daylight. He'll often wear like a construction worker's uniform, so he looks like he's official, or they look like they're official. And he installs the art, and nobody says boo.
I wonder if he's related to like Bigfoot or the Loch Ness monster or an alien because we never get the proper answer. But you mentioned a couple of things that we're going to get a chance to see at this exhibit. We should also mention too where the exhibit is going to be, and also what other things are we going to be able to see.
Well, all right. So the exhibit is in the Lighthouse Immersive Art Space, which is at #1 Yonge Street in the old Toronto Star printing press rooms. Um,
Perfect place for this.
right kitty corner to the Air Canada Center. If you're going down to see a basketball game, you can come across and see the show. And we also have the F1 exhibit this summer in the gallery as well. So you can come and see them both, which makes for a great afternoon. What else can I tell you? New pieces that you're going to see. So the most important new piece that we've added in to the collection for this is Banksy's own version of the Mona Lisa. And he created this version and sold it to a famous movie star, four-letter last name. Two of those letters are T. Sold it to a famous movie star and who has been a collector of Banksy's art for years. And he sold it about 20 years ago to the movie star. And in 2020, Banksy asked to get it back. And he added some alterations to the piece and enhanced it. Anyhow, we have that piece. So that's one of the more exciting new pieces that we have. We have a number of the classic pieces. We have 4 versions of Girl with the Red Balloon, which is very unique to have. And we have the flower thrower, and we have the very first iterations of the flower thrower, which is, if people are watching you on YouTube, it's the image that's over your right shoulder. There you go. A little cut off, and at least on my screen, but that's the
and Balloon Girl is, I do believe, is over
that's
here.
right.
Too.
Balloon Girl is over there, and the Kissing Coppers, which we will feature heavily in our out of home campaign during Pride Week, is also back there behind you, and will be in the exhibit. So flower thrower, one of the original flower throwers that he ever made, he made as a postcard for his girlfriend, and so we've tracked down the girlfriend. We've interviewed her, so you'll get to hear some of her experiences and stories of Banksy, and see the original. He made it as a Valentine's Day card for her, the original card, and so that's another one of the exciting pieces that is new that wasn't here previously. We have 170 pieces. They're all original pieces by Banksy. They've all been authenticated. And they're all contributed to us by collectors. So over the years, he's made his street art, but in parallel, he's made a number of pieces that he sold to collectors, including big movie stars. And those would go into people's homes or into warehouses to just sit and accumulate value, I guess. And so what we've done is we've rounded up a group of collectors who'd like to have the pieces seen. And it's a wonderful opportunity to see this many Banksy pieces all in one place.
Now, are there any rules? Because I've gone to exhibits like this in the past, and one of the big rules is no photos. Is that a rule that is being applied to this when we come to see this?
No, we're okay with photos. So we'd have no normal art gallery things like no bags and we have a coat check and stuff like that. But photos, if you want to take a photo, we prefer no flashes. But they're nicely lit and you can take a photo.
Can we buy copies of this or any other merch that's going on with this?
There is a nice merch store. We're not selling the individual pieces, at least not publicly. If you wanted to make a private offer, we could convey it to a collector. So Rudy, we could add a flower thrower to your collection.
There you go. I was going to ask though earlier, do you know what the most expensive artwork he's done that was sold?
I think now I'm not enough of an expert, but I think the one that I mentioned, the shredded girl with the red balloon, if memory serves, it went for about 2 million and is currently worth about 4 times that. Wow. Simply because it was shredded and part of
amazing. Amazing. I'm so looking forward to this. So reminding folks again, where do we go to see this? When is it going to be running? And how do we get tickets for this?
So we're opening on May 29th. Tickets are at BanksyExhibit.com. And you come down to 1 Yonge Street at the Lighthouse Artspace.
Cannot wait, my friend. Thank you so much. Looking forward to this. And thanks again for bringing such an amazing artist and his work to Toronto once again. Thank you so much.
Rudy, we're very excited about it. Thanks for the interview. It's always great to see you and to chat. Thank you.